Hi, everybody. This is Mackenzie, or they call me Mac. So I am the CEO and founder of what is called the Dream Corporation, and I guess, what you would call its embodiment as a social change organization will be called Grown on the Range. I manage a couple of different properties that fall under that moniker. We have the Grown on the Range homestead, which I am reporting to you live from in the middle of Central California. It is our urban homestead where we have raised chickens, ducks, all types of animals, even goats and sheep have been here. Uh, and We also have Grown on the Range Alpine Ranch, which is a 20-acre property way up in the Warner Mountain Range, which is in Modoc County, which is the last county before you get out of California to the north and east. So the most northeast county of the state. It is a 4-season place versus our basic 2-season. Is where we live in the Central Valley, which is just basically rainy season, which is fall, spring, and then dry season, which is late spring until about early fall. More late fall than early lately, but this on the range ranch enterprises page, I have been very, very lax in trying to do anything on it. Unfortunately, I just look at everybody else's videos and they're so much more ahead and they've gotten everything like all ironed out, and it's made me feel like I shouldn't be, just at least just going live and posting videos every now and then. And then there's a thing of I have too many YouTube channels. I've had YouTube channels since the early 2000s, but I just never saw the drive to do something with them, unfortunately. And now that's all changed because I'm really trying to find a way to get financing, to get followership, to get the build a community around the Few protocol, which is my video that I've posted. This video is about, it's about 2 years old. It's basically a fleshed out plan or a video plan of what I've been trying to do for the 40 some odd years that I've been on the planet. For the most part, I've been into this particular lifestyle before it was cool, of what you would call sustainability and trying to live with and off of the land, right? I have been doing that since I was born for the most part. A lot of people think of it as like a fad, or they think of it as something that's like uh, ancient in some way, but this is the current way we should be living. And a lot of the problems that we're having right now as a society, as people, is because we're not living this way. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over like some of the videos that I'm gonna be doing. For the most part, it's just giving you an outline so you know what to expect from the Grown on the Range channel. Um, you'll be seeing more channels that'll pop up that'll have more to do with the other parts of the business. I'll share links to those every here and there, very sparingly, but the people that I want to talk to here are the ones that are going to be quote unquote the foundation of what I am trying to accomplish as a as someone who's trying to change the paradigm. There's no reason we shouldn't be living in a post-scarcity society right now. And for those of you who don't know what a post-scarcity society is, it's a society where you want for nothing. You're not worried about if you get hurt because there's healthcare. You're not worried about if you get hungry because there's food. You're not worried about if you get thirsty because there's water. You don't have to worry about will you have a home because you are home and you will always have a roof over your head in one way or another, no matter what. And we've basically gone away from that particular way of thinking and feeling for the simple fact that we believe that having a buck in our pocket for some reason is a better flex, it's a bigger flex, right? It's more of a I gotcha. Like there's no reason for us to have a I gotcha on anyone right now, right? We should all be living comfortably. Um, I'm of the sound mind that if everyone can't have, then everyone should have just enough, right? And no, there's no I should be able to stand because what you're saying, if you feel any other way, is that I should be able to stand over on the back of others. You should not ever be able to stand on the back of others unless that person has offered their back, if that makes sense. Okay. And I feel that we've gone away from that. Like being able to stand on someone's back is a privilege. It's a right. I have the right to stand on your back to get above you so that, I can have a yacht. You can drown if it's a flood. If that makes sense to the common person. So what the Doreen or what the Doreen Corporation is it's four different, or it's four different entities. It's the Doreen Corporation itself. It's grown on the range. It's Leviathan Chant Entertainment, and it is Enceladus Exploration and Energy. These four entities all create that one entity of the Doreen Corporation. And with Grown on the Range, what we want to do, and what we are going to do, trying, that's not going to be my word anymore. I use that a lot, trying. And this is probably one of the reasons that I feel so like my wheels are spinning, right? Um, don't use try. Try not to use try if you can. What we're going to do is we're going to make it so that affordable housing, affordable food, affordable energy all tie into themselves. So the house will provide the energy, the house will provide the food, the house will provide, you know, excess water, we will capture everything that we would deem wasteful or polluting, and we will try to reincorporate that into the living situation. So one of the main things I always hear people say is, "Well, I just need to get myself a piece of land. I need to go move out to the country. The city this, the city that, the city this, the city that." Right. Well, the thing is that you can't just up and leave. Right. You can't just up and leave. And in this fascinating world of homesteading, there's pros and there's cons to being rural, and being urban. Right. So let's like dive into it, right? Like for the urban environment, we're looking at rooftop gardens, chickens in the backyard, vertical farming and maximizing our space. Well, with that, there comes the accessibility to, you know, entertainment, schools, healthcare, right? But then you have the con of zoning. You have the con of the neighbors who they didn't move to the country. I didn't move somewhere where I should be looking at chickens. You have to weigh the pros and the cons. We're going to be looking at that, right? We're going to dive deep into that, and I'm going to be presenting you, case studies. I'm going to tell you my experience as being someone who's lived both urban and rural and suburban. So I guess I've spanned all three. Ultra rural, I've lived ultra rural, or been owned properties that are ultra rural. I've owned properties that are suburban. I've owned properties that are in the city. And I've lived this, my whole life on both coasts, from the East Coast to the West Coast. But what we're going to do is we're going to dive deep into that. We're going to talk about why zoning matters, right? Never just buy a property and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do just what I want." Okay. There's zoning that could prevent you from doing just what you want. And that zoning has the power to kick you out of your house, regardless of if it's paid off or not. So just be mindful. We're going to be talking about how zoning matters. We're going to be talking about generation of power off grid, because unfortunately, in this day and age, we have been captured. We are in the grips, so to speak, of the power companies. They have every single power over us at this time. They can raise the rates. Like I said, I'm here in the West Coast, on the West Coast in California, and PG&E, who is my energy provider at the urban homestead, they've just been raising their rates 25%, 30%. They don't care, and it's like, but they needed to pay for fires that are inherently their fault. Okay. In no way, shape, or form. I don't care how beautiful and pristine the forests are, and we never had forest fires like this. There's no reason that we should have ever made overhead power lines a thing in a active fire zone. Even a place where we think, listen, it's just there's so many things that has been done as far as infrastructure that needs to be rewritten, that needs to be reevaluated, and we need to put new things into uh we need to put new things into effect, right? uh what I also have come to realize is that microgrids is the way to go. I've always just been a proponent of microgrids, communities with their own power systems, communities that have sent 15, 16 residents to school to manage the power system. They are the bread and butter of the community. And if anyone leaves or anyone passes away, we need to start educating more people to be able to run the. It shouldn't always be we're waiting for our power our power companies to come bail us out and save us, right? At some point, we have to take some sustainability, uh, some excuse me, and some accountability. Sustainability is always on my mind. Some accountability for our own existence, right? So, like I said, we're going to be talking about off-grid power. We're going to be talking about, like I said, we're going to definitely dive into the pros and the cons of urban and rural homesteading, suburban homesteading, and we're going to dissect each one. Even if we do one big episode where I'm explaining all three, there will be a point where I dive into each one and just give you like my particular view on it, what I've seen. Look for us to start trying to. I'm going to be having guests. I'm going to be having people from my favorite YouTube channels integrated into some of my pieces, one way or another. Come hell or high water, I'll find a way to get into some of these guys' good graces and make sure that I'm doing, interviews where I'm just talking to them about what they're doing, what I'm and sharing what I'm doing and seeing if we can impart knowledge on each other. I definitely know they can impart knowledge on me. Maybe there's something that I can tell them that, I've seen them do on their videos or something I haven't seen them do yet. That would be amazing. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to become more part of the community, actually use this particular site to try to, garner some support. I have a 9 to 5 job. I am trying to find a way to leverage that where the only thing I'm concentrating on is the projects that we have going here. And one of the main projects here at the Urban Homestead, if you can see, I'm inside of the what we call the Raptor's Nest. This is my urban studio where I do music, I do art, I write, and then of course I work from home, so I use this as my office as well. So for my 9 to 5 job. Well, what I would like to do is I would like to turn that 9 to 5 job into either a part-time job or totally leave so that I can start doing full-time content production. Whether that be here on YouTube, whether that be on here on TikTok, whether that be here on Facebook, wherever it is, so that I can try to monetize the process of me going on this journey so I can teach as I do so. And the only thing I want to use anything that I get for is to further the projects. As I said, so at the Raptor's Nest, house was built in 1941. Up in the nest, we have our own studio, our own bathroom, our own kitchen, all that stuff. But downstairs is a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. And what we want to do is we want to demo the whole place. We want to put up uh four duplexes, so to speak, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, my own design. I'm gonna be using it's gonna be a modified barn dominium concept, uh with the walls being used as thermal batteries to create hot water and energy. So it's my own kind of design, and it's also gonna have kind of like 2 greenhouse zones on the property. One that's gonna be kind of like a mudroom slash laundry room, and then another one that's going to be kind of like I like to call it a jungle living room, so to speak, or a jungle lounge, where it's going to be kind of like a greenhouse. You'll be able to. It's going to be plants in there. We always want to try to, moderate our zones with plants and water, so that we could try to absorb any chemical or harsh harsh air quality in a house. So we want to integrate water features and plants in all of our projects. But this is going to be 4 of those. The internal courtyard, I've considered the internal courtyard being some type of natural swimming pool or natural pond, where there'll be lilies in the zone, plants in the zone, and then a deeper zone where you can actually swim, and all that be filtered by the plants, and maybe a little bit of an sand filter. Nothing like crazy. No chlorine. This is a place where you might find frogs. It's a water. It's a swimming hole. It's not a pond. I mean, not a pool, but it is a pond. Anyway, but that's what we want to do here in the middle of the Central Valley Um, and we want to try to make sure that this property or these properties are accessible. So, in other words, they are affordable. Um, that's one of the main reasons why I have been singing from the rooftops. If you own a single family home in California, figure out a way to get financed to do something with that property, because due to the fact that SB State Bill 9 and State Bill 10, which basically made it so that there's really no such thing as residential only, strictly just like what I want to say is a single family. Let me take it back. There's no such thing as single family zoning anymore, except for at this point, I guess you would just have to call if you live in an apartment and only one family lives in an apartment. That's the only way there could be a single family address anymore outside of zoning, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because what happened with SB9 is any residential lot is now subdividable. So you can turn it into a house with a granny unit. You can even turn it into two lots. And then at that point, you can have a main house with the granny unit and another main house with the granny unit. So it's simply what it does is it's turned all property into a multi-family home property. So I'm going to be trying to talk with some of the experts regarding SB9 and SB10, how normal people can take advantage of it, and how we can start moving towards a financial system where if you have a single family property and you're under a mortgage, there's actual avenues where the state, the city, the county will assist you in getting a state backed mortgage based on the value of the property after you've done the SB9 plans, you've shown how many people could live in the properties, and you can show how much money you can make on it when it comes to renting it out or selling it, right? Because these properties, you can also split it down the middle, keep one one main house and granny unit for yourself, and you can actually sell the main house and the granny unit on the other side of your split property. That's another way governments would be able to say, you know what, this is yeah, we should be doing this. This is what they should be doing, right? So we'll be talking about SB9, and we'll also be talking about, you know, water. I really want to talk really, really, a lot about water, because as I said, where I live, water is very scarce. Water is very sought after, and we need to get a well installed up at Grown on the Range. So I want to take you on that trip, right? I've been on this trip for almost 10 years now, where, so much to do at the homesteads. I got a lot to do up there. I got a lot to do down here. I still don't even have a well in up there. Luckily, I have a creek, and that's been fine for me for now. But I don't have a well where I live up at the ranch. And here we're dealing with the valley water. So I'm gonna go through the process of getting a well installed. I'm gonna take you through it. Unfortunately, I live in a state where I'm not allowed to do it unless I had the degree and the training. Basically, I have to be certified in order to install a well. I've been experimenting or thinking about possibly taking that avenue. I'm not sure yet. But for the most part, I know that I do want to get a well installed within the next 6 to 7 months. So I want to take you guys on that journey with me. We'll also talk about purification, storage, water sources. We will also go through multi-purpose breeds. So that's something I'll be big talking about. I am a livestock man. I've raised every animal you can think of on this planet, except for anything really wild, right? I've had everything. I've dived into the possibility of getting just about everything. And I'm a wealth of knowledge when it comes to raising animals, training canines. And we'll talk about the dog breeds that you should probably be looking at to help you on your homestead, whether it be urban or it be rural. I did just have one in mind for just the rural people, but then I thought about it. Listen, if you got an urban homestead, you might want to add a canine to that property to be able to keep it secure, safe, and even help you work some of the things that you may be allowed to have in your particular locale or area. So yeah, man, like that these are the things, the picture of the grown on the range, the picture of the grown on the range uh plan that is, like I said, decades in the making, things that I've been planning and that I've been trying to get off the ground. And one of the main things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to not go into debt doing it. I just can't. I'm sorry. I've been in debt my whole life. I come from a family that seems like debt is something that they don't know how to escape. And I am in a place right now where I am just in a okay place where I don't want to get into too much more if I can afford it. Just the debt of keeping everything that I'm doing right now keeps me in a state of constant like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? That's why I'm turning to you guys. Um, we have a razor campaign. It's pretty much just, give what you can when you can. I would love for you guys to become people who constantly give, it's the few protocol, abundance as wealth. Once again, it's that fundraiser, fundrazr. We are actively trying to find people who want to come on the show. If you see one of your videos posted in my playlist, I'm going to continuously create and add to playlist. I'm going to jump on and say, hey, I just added this video to the playlist. Check it out. This is my recommendation for this one. This is my, I'll tell you, give recommendations for channels. Everything here will be based on like grown on the range slash even, brushing on Enceladus exploration and energy type subjects. If you want information about everything else, whether it be how what we're like, just the, I guess, the quote unquote vibe of the country, the company, then you can always check out the Doreen Corporation channel. It doesn't have anything on there right now, but hey, I would just start following it now so that you have access when it does have more content based on what we're trying to accomplish in the next couple of months. But yeah, so I mean that was all I wanted to do. Just wanted to jump on here. I'd never been on live here before, and I wanted to give you guys a quick primer of what to expect from the Grown on the Ranch Enterprise page, YouTube channel. Get ready for some laughs, get ready for some crying, get ready for some babies, get ready for some agricultural, green building, green energy drama, all that stuff, a lot of news. And like I said, I will promote the channels that I have faithfully followed and has given me a real like I said, I've been into this for a very long time and I didn't have a place where I could just get everything together and be able to watch, a show about, dome building and then a show about, Akana ducks, and then a show about yaks, and then a show about alpacas, and then a show about aquaponics. You know, I really enjoy it, and I hope that you guys come along on the journey with me. It's gonna be crazy. I've been driving my family crazy, and I think now I'm gonna use this as an outlet. And like I said, just please like, subscribe, even if you don't feel like watching it, just put it on in the background. I don't really care. Just get my viewership and my subscribes up to where I need to be so I can start making real money here. Real money on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok at the I'm probably gonna have to create a new one for TikTok too. So it's probably gonna be Grown on the Ranch Industries, TikTok. Um, and yeah, just try to keep up with me. And then Grown on the Range at gmail.com is our that's our name. That's where you can get to me and just talk to me and let me know, if you have some other ideas or you have someone you want me to interview, if you want to be interviewed, if you want to donate, hit me up. We can talk, we can vibe and all that stuff and try to figure out, how you can fit into creating this post scarcity society in this post scarcity economy that I'm envisioning. So in the meantime, take a look at the Few Protocol. It's a really good video, something that I just threw together. It's a freestyle, just like this. This is just a freestyle of me telling you what's to come, and I don't really write too much down when it comes to like what I'm trying to impart upon you. But I do a lot of editing as far as going inside of the making sure that videos and pictures and stuff match up. And I try to make sure that's really tight and stuff. But most of the stuff I tell you is really off the dome. It's from what I've been doing my whole life. It's what I've been researching my whole life. And yeah, life just gets in the way with me. Like I said, I'm a father, I'm a rancher, I'm a landowner. I am a son, I'm a brother, I'm a uncle. And then, like I said, the normal 9 to 5, I have a little bit more to do than the average person, like no matter what, it's always a little bit more for me to do than the average person. So, with that being said, I like to thank you guys. Welcome to Grown on the Range Ranch Industry Enterprises. Please come along on this journey as we attempt to create a post scarcity economy. Have a good day. Bye. How do we turn you off? Is this the end of the stream? This is the end of the stream.